That Reef Show.
That Reef Show.
This is That Reef Show.
This is our first video in what we hope is going to become a recurring segment titled Build List. My personal hope for this series is that by the end you might be inspired to do this build yourself or even make it better. This series is especially for a beginner, but I believe anybody could find it valuable. Be sure to stick around till the end of this segment because we're actually collaborating with Puff Daddy Reef TV and Coral Gal. They're doing the exact same build, and we're gonna check in with them and see how they're progressing. By the way, this is gonna be a 4-part series, and to get way more information about all the gear we're using, just scroll down and click on the build list blog below. Everything you see is gonna be available at Marine Depot, and a huge thank you to both Innovative Marine and Marine Depot for supplying all the gear for this series. No joke, this is not a cheap build that I'm doing. It's probably out of the budget for many beginners. The total for every item you just saw at the time of publication is $1,127. Yeah, that's a lot of money. But I can save you $700. So if you're still interested in this build and you want to save $700, here's what I would do. If you swap out the light, get rid of the APS stand, and don't use any sort of automatic top-off system, the price goes from $1,127 to $427. No joke. You can save $700, and honestly, this looks just as nice. Just make sure you have a sturdy stand. Let's head over to Coral Gal and see how her Encore build is going. Coral Gal, what you got for us?
Thanks, my first fish tank. This is going to be a pretty epic, little overpriced build, but we had extra equipment and we thought it'd be a fun competition between myself and Bees Reef. We are doing a build off on an Innovative Marine Encore Concept 20 gallon. First thing we're going to do is we're going to upgrade the return pumps. We're going to take out the Innovative Marine ones. We're going to put in the CJ pumps that are the 0.5s. We're also going to use different kinds of bacteria to get this cycle. He's going to use the microbacter from Brightwell, and I'm going to be using Fritz Turbo Start, which I've never used before, and also the NitroCycle from Algae Barn. We're going to be using the New Marine Salt, which is new to me as well. For comparison, I usually use Red Sea, so I'm excited to try new salt. This is going to be the salinity checker that we're going to be using. It's made by Hannah. None of this is sponsored, by the way. We weren't paid to promote any of this. None of this is given to us. We are going to be using a little bit of overkill on the lighting. We have 2 Ecotech Radions, the XR15 Blues. It is going to be a little bit of overkill, but it should be relatively easy to adjust accordingly as we go along on this build. We're also going to be using for now the cobalt heaters on both sides. I will be changing mine up to a Phoenix titanium heater. I've had better luck with that brand, so I'm going to change it out later on. But to get this going and to get the cycle, we'll use that. We're also going to use the Innovative Marine media baskets that come with the tank. They also have GFO, they have your little cotton balls up here, and we also have carbon that's in here. It's super easy to use. Take this out, you can replace everything. Came with the tank. We will be changing that out to different kind of media to do filtration once we get everything going. But to get everything started, this is what we're working with for right now. Hope to keep you entertained, and we'll see you on the next film.
Thank you, Coral Gal. If you want to follow Coral Gal on Instagram and YouTube, just scroll down. I'll put links to her social media below. Puff Daddy Reef is also doing the same build. So Puff Daddy Reef, how's the build going?
What is up, beautiful fish lovers? You might not be expecting to see me here because normally I'm on my channel Puff Daddy Reef, but I just wanted to talk to you as we kick off this build off / friendly build competition, but not really a competition, event to see what we can do with this Innovative Marine Encore concept aquarium. Now what this is a 20-gallon aquarium with a partition. There's 10 gallons on each side and they're completely separated. So if you really wanted to, you could do freshwater on one side, saltwater on the other. Now what I'm gonna do for my concept is I am going to do a split between a saltwater aquarium and my first planted aquarium. I know absolutely nothing about planted aquariums. I'm actually really afraid of it. I feel like I only know how to do saltwater tanks because it's been years since I've had a freshwater tank. So check out my channel at Puff Daddy Reef and leave me some comments, maybe some tips on that. But this is the plan. Here, I'm probably gonna go with some dwarf puffers. Let me know if that's a bad idea with a planted tank, but I really wanna have puffer fish again. And in the reef tank, I'm gonna leave that for a surprise on my channel, so check that out. So now I'll hand it back off to that reef show. I hope you guys enjoy the show.
Thanks a lot, Puff Daddy Reef. If you want to follow him on any of his social media, including Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, I'll put the link below. That's it for Build List Episode 1. We will pick this up in 2 weeks. We'll see you then. I got a text message from them about 2 months ago now, I'd say, and it finally arrived. I can't remember which post it was, but it definitely had to do with Dominic and my quickly deteriorating mesh screen. Every time my Reef Breeder's EXO auto top-off unit would turn on, Dommy's would lose his feline cool and try to get as near to the sound as possible, which of course meant directly on top of my mesh screen. I mean, that cat's already fallen in twice and he is still undeterred. So the timing for this package is perfect. That's Francis. I'm here with TopLids.
My name is Freddy. I'm from engineering department. I do some sales too, and I start on TopLids about 1 year ago.
Hi everybody. I'm Fernando. So I'm from the sales department. I answer all the persons and all the questions that they have, and help them to figure it out, which is the best lid, what the kind of cutouts they need. So that's what we do.
So I want to know a little bit about the history of your company. How long have you been around?
Yeah, we just almost 3 years ago. So the reason that we start is because one of the founders have a tank and the fishes are just jumping off.
Yeah.
So, and that was an issue, and nobody wants their fishes anywhere else but in the tank. So that was the reason, and he bought any other lid from other companies, and it doesn't have any good quality at all. So he starts to build his own lid.
This is not a sponsored segment, but full disclosure, I did not pay for this. Here's the process for getting your lid. Just go to toplids.com and click on request a quote. You can also request a quote through their Facebook page and through their Instagram. Then you gotta choose the style that you want. They have 3 to choose from. They have their standard, they have their fusion vent, which I think is this one, and then they have their cat-proof lid. They're gonna wanna know what kind of tank you have, the general dimensions. It doesn't have to be an exact measurement at this stage, and then a picture from the top down so they can see how the lid will fit. Then you pay for your lid, and then you start the measurement process. You're gonna receive a document from TopLids, and it's a little confusing, but it comes with detailed instructions. Basically, you're gonna take extremely detailed measurements. And if you have any problems at all, you just have to email or direct message TopLids and they'll walk you through it. You're definitely gonna wanna make sure that you measure at least 2 times because they are gonna make the lid depending on your measurement. So I would recommend, why not measure 3 times? Why not measure 4 times even? Oh, look at this. It looks so good.
I want to grab something. One sec.
Okay.
Okay. So
Definitely, it's not a TopLids.
this is not a TopLids, everybody. Okay. Now, this is the tank that the TopLid's going to go on. This is my Fluval M60 tank. And I have been making my own lids for years. Why your lids are just so much better than what I can do?
First of all, we make the lid as the size of, as exactly the size as the tank is. So the lid fits, it goes on like a glove. Why? A part of the lid on the top of the rim, and the other parts go inside the rim. So it like goes do something like this when you put the lid.
I want to know your production process. So let's say you've got your order, everything's checked out. How do you guys go about from turning nothing into a beautiful lid?
Every lid, it's a single board.
Okay.
Imagine there's a single board. We put all that on machine and make the cutouts. We use this Lexan polycarbonate board, which is the same material as used to build aircraft windows. It's very, very resistant. The process is, you send me a message, you can call us or send us an email, whatever. And, oh, what model do you have? Oh, I have a Red Sea 170. Okay, good. Send me some pictures. The size of the tank and how many cutouts and the type of cutouts does it need to have? Why? It's machine time. This information, when I receive, I send it to Fred. Fred make the 3D model of that for the person check. Whoa, I don't really think I want to fit indoor here. I want to fit indoor there. Okay, let's change it. No problem.
Oh my goodness, this is so nice. We decided to put a lid on the Fluval M60 right behind me for 2 reasons. Number 1, it's the one the cat jumps on the most, so my current lid is falling apart. And number 2, it's the most beautiful tank I have, and if we're gonna put a beautiful lid on something, you might as well do it on a beautiful tank. This is the TopLids Fusion Vent Style. Big thanks to TopLids for upgrading me from my crappy DIY lid to a super fancy lid. If you guys want to learn more about TopLids or get an estimate or make an order, just go to toplids.com and they will get back to you soon. Happy reefing, everybody. I'm ready. I got my 4 stations set up. Station 1 is the plumbing station. Station 2 is the cutting section. Station 3, all of the plumbing gear set up. And Station 4, which is of course outside, gluing station. I forgot I have one more bonus section. Can you see it? Rags. Let's start with the horizontal view. I think most everything's okay here. This is going to be the primary return, and this is the emergency return. Going to have a Spears gate valve there, 90-degree elbows. Use the red PVC unions right here so I can take it apart. 90-degree elbow up to the MD Elite overflow, and then I think this will also be fine. This is my Reef Octopus return pump, and then I have 1-inch flexible silicone tubing attached into a street elbow with a hose barb adapter. So this view I think looks okay, but the problem is right here, because my original thought with the MD Elite Overflow was to do a street elbow here and a 90-degree elbow here so that I could put these two pipes to the rear of the tank. But then for the return line, it's coming up here. You see the return line? It's going to be splitting off in a T here, and it's going to have to go either behind or in front. So you're going to have like double thickness, like here and here. So I figured, why don't I just pull these, instead of putting in these elbows, just go straight down, 90-degree elbow underneath into the stand, and then just hug it along the top. That'll give me plenty of space between the pipes and the sump down below. So I think that's what we're going to try. This is just a cheap PetSmart Petco 40-gallon breeder tank. The MD Elite Overflow box. I had to drill this myself, which is in a previous video. This is the backside, has a, I believe, 1.5 inch here, and then 1-inch bulkheads down here. For the sump, I'm using the MD Elite 30-inch, I believe it's 30-inch Overflow by Trigger Systems. This is overkill, okay? Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Overkill, but I have it, I want to use it. This thing is fantastic, a little bit on the spendy side, but you get what you pay for. I won't go into too much details. The links are below if you want to see more about that product. Cheap PVC cutters, they work fine. They don't leave the cleanest edges, so you're going to want to definitely use some sort of sandpaper to get all the burrs off of the edges. These are probably way too small. Dry fitting is good, but dry fitting does not give you accurate measurements. So you're going to have to measure, because when you dry fit, the pieces will never go in all the way. So dry fitting is important, especially when you're like logically thinking it through. Also, the problem with dry fitting is sometimes it's almost impossible to get those pieces apart. I've used large wrenches, pliers before, but it just messes up the PVC and makes it look ugly. So just pick up one of these cheapo, I don't know what they're called, strap wrench maybe, and then you can just tighten it around the PVC itself, turn it off. Way, way easier. All of the gray, they're all Schedule 80. The only Schedule 40 I have is actually the PVC, which almost always comes in white. 90-degree elbows, street elbows, and these are super handy for going into like bulkheads. So if you look here, here's a bulkhead, right? They go directly into the bulkhead. Couplings, if you make mistakes, have couplings on hand, because then you can just cut your PVC wherever you made the mistake, throw a coupling on there. T's, this is a Spears double union check valve. Fantastic. Check valves, in case you don't know, make the water only go one direction. Unions, Schedule 80, throw them in wherever you can because you can disconnect them. Hose barb adapter, the Spears gate valve. If you are going to be running a Herbie style or a Bean Animal style overflow, I'm running a Herbie style, get this. Plastic hose clamps, use these wherever it's going to come in contact with water. Make sure you pick up the clear primer, because most primer is purple, but they sell clear primer. So you have the clear primer, clear cement, and then this is only to connect your bulkheads to your PVC, and use gloves. This is stinky and it's messy. We are going to start by dry fitting. So we'll check back in and we'll show you the results of the dry fit. By the way, I'm hoping it only takes me like 2 hours to dry fit, probably longer, but we're gonna go for 2 hours. Maybe 3 hours.
You told me I'm your anchor, I told you you're my pole. Through the wind and fire we try to hold on. We build this ship together, searching for a home. Despite the storm that hit us, we're still on board. Dancing in the moonlight, the world just stopped and stares. We got no destination, I'll take you anywhere. All the doors we've opened and all the books we've closed, words just come together, story that we never told.
I think I'm done with the dry fit. So let me turn around and show you what I did and some changes I made that I think is gonna work okay. The primary and then the emergency overflow, I had to make them, if you look here, 2 different heights because they're gonna crisscross at one point. So if you come down here and look, see this? Right here, both these pieces are gonna crisscross, so the emergency line had to be able to fit completely below. So that's why it's 2 separate heights. But it looks pretty good, although you're not even gonna see this backside here. So I ended up taking the drain lines down over a foot. Sorry, the return lines down over a foot so that it would go underneath both of the drain lines. And then I put a T in there, put the tee off underneath, and then you can see it goes down into the return chamber, and it has a little spigot line there that I'm going to attach some silicone to. This is going to work, although there's an inherent problem that you'll notice here. The return line is going to go up through here, and then it's a shorter distance to travel to this return. And not only that, this return over here is longer, but it has to go through one 90-degree angle and two 90-degree angles. So that means on this side, the flow is going to be less. Dry fitting, it looks all wackadoodle and it looks all uneven because a dry fit never, like these pieces here, never push in all the way. So you really have to do your best as a dry fit. Dry fit is not for exact measurements so much as it is to make sure your overall design works. Originally for both these lines, I had unions on both of them, but I figured I'm not going to put the unions in because if I want to in the future, all I need to do is just cut the line. Cut, and then I can put unions in, no problem. And then I'm not going to glue the PVC here into here. I'm just going to push it down really hard. If there's too much salt creep over time, then I'll glue them, but I want to be able to remove that. That's pretty much the dry fit. Overall, I'm pretty darn happy with how that turned out. I'm gonna grab a little lunch, and then I'm gonna come back and start gluing them, and maybe we could even get water in this later today, but probably not till tomorrow.
So for your sake and for my own, you said just keep holding on. If you're about to break, I'll always be your captain. From our failures we have grown. You said just keep holding on. If you're about to break,
gloves are absolute must. I have to make sure I line these up perfectly or it's gonna be all cattywampus in my tank. Open for me. Oh my goodness. Hold up, I'll be right back. Strap clamp. Okay. I did it again. I'm this close to like losing my mind. This entire piece is now completely destroyed. See this? This is the union. This piece here has to go on the other side. And I don't know why I keep doing this, but I take it out thinking, oh, this will be easier to connect. But then you can't put this back here because if you look here, how am I supposed to screw this piece on without this? It's impossible. So not only did I completely just waste this $20 something Spears piece, but now all of this is worthless because it's all glued together. All worthless. I'm so frustrated. I just, ugh.
I'll always be your captain.
It's only 4:45, which means I actually finished this entire plumbing project before dinner time. And for my first fish tank, that is unheard of. And I only made one mistake, and it was correctable, which is amazing. This tank is going to be the frag tank. It's going to be the coral quarantine tank, and some fish in there as well. And I've already been talking with a buddy of mine, and I'm ready to do a $1,000 coral purchase. So I can't wait to show that with all of you. As always, everybody, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to My First Fish Tank and Marine Depot. Happy reefing.
I'll always be your captain. From our failures we have grown. You said just keep holding on. If you're about to break, I'll always be your captain.
I hope you learned something today. If you didn't learn something, I hope you enjoyed the video. This is terrible. I should just redo this and cut. I don't even know how to end it. This series is especially made for the beginner. I mean, by the way, this is going to be a 4-part series, and Hey, Freddie, how's it going? So, yeah, I've been having a little bit of problems with kind of measuring the tank. I don't don't understand. Am I supposed to go like lengthwise or heightwise? Yeah. So length then. No, that makes total sense. Awesome. No, thanks.